right, hello, good evening. It is High Priestess Jamila. Hello. So, I am here to save y'all. Okay. You know what? Sometimes I be looking for quality content to watch just kind of while I'm cleaning. And I found a couple of different things, podcasts and stuff, that we're talking about, things that I'm interested in, which is not drama. And so I thought that I would come on here and give y'all some content that y'all may enjoy. Oh, what the hell? Really? Really? I wonder if y'all could hear anything that I was just saying. All right. I'm live, honey. That's why you hear me talking. So, in case y'all didn't hear what I was just saying, I came to give y'all some quality content that y'all could use with some useful information while I do my dishes, because I sometimes just want to listen to something interesting while I'm doing dishes. Okay? Something not stressful, something not where people are arguing. Okay? Seriously. So in case you like that kind of content, and y'all actually want to have a good evening to where you're not feeling all high strung and stressed out, then this is the place to be. I haven't done one of these videos in a while. So I'm musing. Hey, 1EQ. If I don't respond to the chat, it's because I'm over here scrubbing these dishes as I put them in the dishwasher. Okay. All right. So I wanted to come and talk about a couple of things. I'm going to try to keep it as less controversial as possible. But I wanted to talk to you guys about connection with the power source here on this planet that we call Earth, that we love so much. I actually love planet Earth. Okay, I am an Earth angel. And so anyway, and the planetary alchemy bottles is where it's at. In particular, not just the retrograde bottles, witch bottles, but the just the ones, just the whole set. So I am offering them. They are available as a set. Okay. I'm still debating on if I am going to make the bottle for the sun and the moon separate, or if I'm just going to do the sun and the moon together, like a yin yang thing. And I'm working out a few of those kinks still. But, that's not important. What's important is an understanding as to why these planetary alchemy bottles are going to be useful to you. Okay? So, just in case anyone is listening that wasn't listening previously, I'll go over that with y'all again tonight. Okay? So, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? And now, I think that the planets going into retrograde, I think it's one of those mysterious things that we really don't understand. and it's probably something that we'll never understand. But when I started really, really working with my spirits, like, especially the ones of the underworld, yeah, they told me all about it. They didn't tell me like the secrets of the universe or anything like that. Like, it's still unexplainable, but from what my guides are telling me is that having one planet in retrograde, and this includes the North Node, can throw you off. Now, all of the planets that are in our solar system feed us. They feed us certain energies every single day. Okay. And I think that we're definitely connected to these planets. I think that if we weren't, we probably wouldn't have any interest in them at all. Okay. Well, some of us do. Some people don't. Okay. But I know that I do. And, y'all know that I'm a tarot card reader and I'm a witch. And I'm into that kind of thing. I don't consider myself to be an astrologer, like an astrologist or anything like that. But, I have my own witchy way of looking at these things. And so, I don't believe that these retrograded planets would affect us necessarily. Maybe certain things, they wouldn't have much of a devastating effect on a lot of people if it were not for the imperfections of human behavior, selfishness, okay, violence on this planet. I think that it wouldn't near about show up as much, but that's something that is kind of like inevitable. Okay, it's just the way that it is on this planet. And while what is this? Oh, I gotta have my son in the trash out. But since we do, and since we have a lot of things, like I personally feel like the disconnection mainly from these planets is the issue. I think that organized religion is the issue. And I think that it's something that people just are not aware of. And what is this in here? Okay, this is more coffee. They are not aware of it, which is not a good thing. Okay. So I think that it's not one cookie cutter way. I think that the different planets can affect you differently. Okay. However, if you were born with Jupiter in retrograde, then you probably had a lot of struggles, or maybe you didn't. Some people with Jupiter in retrograde didn't create that many struggles. I guess it would depend on your family structure. Okay. Or either the people that you ran into, you know what I mean? So but most people that I know that have a Jupiter in retrograde do generally have bad luck, even if they were born under the sign of Sagittarius. Okay. Okay. So, that's just what that is. And so those retrograde bottles is going to do what my spirits are calling bridging the gap. Okay. It may not have been much of a gap if it weren't for, maybe like I said, people that don't know how to behave, bad things on this planet. And then also people taking away from one another. Okay. So I think that if everybody just behaved, which ain't going to ever happen, okay, it's not, it wouldn't be that much of a big deal, okay? So those particular jars that I'm doing and that I'm showing you guys are jars based upon your retrograded planets that are in your chart. Okay. In your birth chart, based upon your date of birth. Okay. And they are pretty phenomenal. I think that just like any spell working, especially when it comes to self-improvement, you're gonna notice a difference immediately. But then to see the full manifestation, you want to wait at least 90 days. Okay. Depends on what it is. Okay. You know, when you consider how you can save a lot of time worrying yourself to death, okay? Like, for example, there are a lot of people that have Pluto in retrograde. Just in general, your Pluto in retrograde is going to affect you in a lot of ways. Pluto in retrograde causes stagnation, okay? It causes procrastination if it is in retrograde. So you'll probably find that if your Pluto was retrograde when you were born, you'll find that maybe things take a long time. Or you may even find, depending on the rest of your chart and considering the retrograded planets, you may find that you're very frustrated and things are very frustrating or frustrating for you because you may have it in your mind that you're going to do something, but then for some reason it just doesn't happen. Okay. So I don't know. Many people, by the time they are in their 30s, they're usually very bitter because they feel like that's just the way life is, or that's the hand that they were dealt. And that's actually not the truth. Should I keep this? I'll clean it first. Yeah. So, um, people have a tendency to do that. They get very emotional and they just kind of give up. Okay. And you'll notice, even while Pluto is in retrograde, because Pluto was in retrograde last year for months, it's going to do it again this year. Okay. And you'll notice that people, when these planets go into retrograde, people start acting up. And what's sad is that a lot of people will start acting up instead of knowing this very valuable information. They'll get impatient. They'll start trying to take away from others. They'll start meddling. They'll start doing things that they probably should not be doing, which is just keeping them in a cycle of negative karma. Okay. More than likely, if you had a Saturn in retrograde, sometimes a Saturn in retrograde or a Uranus in retrograde, you may find that you probably dealt with a lot of bullying, okay, being bullied, or in general not being heard, not being respected for who you are, being expected to be different, not people like people is weird. People not knowing who you are, or people trying to define you, rather. Okay, and it gets weirder as you get older. Okay, it does. It kind of starts to get worse the older that you get. But sometimes these things can become obvious even when you are a child. Okay. So those retrograde bottles are so good that my spirits ain't never patented anything, that I went ahead and applied to have them patent. So there's a patent pending on them. Because I looked around and I didn't see anything like it. I mean, we see witch bottles all the time, but these are more specifically connecting you with those universal sources of power, okay, which are very valuable, okay. So I don't know. I feel like the main aspect of it, and I just got a herb today. I got a new herb. I'm trying to think of how you pronounce it. I'll have to go upstairs and look at it. I'll show y'all the new herb on the community wall. I think a lot of people, I'm going to come straight out and say it. I think these days what a lot of people are doing is a lot of people are backbiting or hating or both on other people instead of connecting with source. And I think that it's more difficult to connect with source because I don't know, when I got up this morning, I really could feel what was happening on the earth, and what I felt was like head stuff is what I felt. You know, when I kind of, because sometimes I just kind of gauge the world, and, you know, from there, I kind of determine whether or not I want to connect, how I'm going to connect, and if I won't connect. Now, I think the reason why it probably felt that way is because Uranus just came off of retrograde. So Uranus was in retrograde until January the 27th. And I'm noticing a very noticeable fluctuation. Okay. Whenever a planet goes from retrograde to not in retrograde, I'm noticing that. And then amongst the other things that I'm dealing with. Okay. Which, of course, you know, bad psychic energy, picking up on folks thinking about me. It's really bad, y'all. It's really bad. I can not only can I read people's thoughts, but I can gauge what they're thinking about me too, and it sucks. And I've been doing so many of those retrograde bottles that I have not had time to block that off. I think it's a very good idea for me to do that. In fact, I need to do that tonight, to where I block off, because I don't need to care about how people feel about me, and neither do you. Okay. For real. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people care so much about what people feel about them. I think that I guess it happens up until you realize your purpose and you find your north somehow. You know what I mean? But I never cared about people's opinions. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that's what that was, because I think that Uranus should be helping people find their own individual identity, is what it's supposed to be doing. But again, it affects people in different ways. Okay? That's just like some people may manifest money and prosperity better with the sun energy. Some people may manifest better or more abundantly with the moon. Some people with Saturn's energy. Okay? And a lot of people think that Saturn's energy is necessarily negative, or Mars is negative, and it's not. It's just energy. Okay? So I'm excited. I am. And the initial bottles, or these 2-ounce bottles, I don't see why it would need to be any bigger. I mean, obviously, if I do another planetary alchemy bottle, it can definitely be a larger one, depending on what it is that you're trying to manifest. But again, it's something powerful doesn't necessarily have to be very large. Okay. It can be something small. And what I found is that they've been extremely useful in addition to my spell work. Okay. Like whatever energies I need to use at that time for the spell work, you know. I think that more people would get a better quality of life with these bottles. Okay. You know what I mean? I really do. Now, I'm not just offering the retrograde bottles. I'm offering the complete set of alchemy bottles to where you just basically have all of the planets in a bottle. Okay. It's going to be Saturn, Uranus, Chiron, Venus, Jupiter, Mercury. Okay. All of them. You have them all in a bottle to be used at your disposal. Saturn and Mars, like I said, is going to be together until I'm told otherwise. But, and those are going to be extremely useful for when those planets go into retrograde. Okay. So we have Mercury going into retrograde, of course, next month. Okay. Mercury goes into retrograde 3 to 4 times per year. So I am excited as to what is to come whenever Mercury goes. I know it's not February, April. Yeah, April. Mercury is going into retrograde in April, not February. I'm sorry. But I would get prepared in advance. I wouldn't wait until the last minute. A lot of you guys drive me crazy. Y'all driving me crazy because y'all don't contact me when things are going good. You contact me when things are going bad. And it shouldn't be that way. You should contact me when things are going good. Trust me, I don't fix what's not broken. I improve things. Okay? Because you can contact me when the tough gets going, right? You can. You can depend on me with that. But I'm just saying, when things are going good and you want to secure that or either get the kind of work that is going to help you grow, right? Then, you should contact me then. Don't just wait to contact me when things start to fall apart because that makes it more difficult. It makes it more difficult for me to deal with. It makes it more difficult for you to deal with. And, it's really trying to prevent stuff is better. Wow, this is completely empty. Okay, let's throw that away. So that's my sentiment. But just contact me whenever you can, Okay. So basically the bottles, they should last you about a year or more or longer because they have 70% alcohol as a preservative. So I'm thinking that they'll last at least a year. Okay. And honestly, if you get a new bottle every year, it possibly could replace some of the other rituals that I still offer. It depends on how you look at it. You know what I mean? For a long time, a lot of people was up in arms about my generational curse removal because for some reason people were very concerned about the money that I make as if it was their money. And I'm like, well, I'm not cutting into your money, honey. This is my business. I'm minding the business that pays me. You know, it was so weird, guys. I am going to say this one little controversial thing. It was so weird. I am the only person that works for my company. Nobody else works for Divine Services. Divine Services is a small business that I created by myself. I'm the only working witch at my company. But yet, what it seemed like, it was so weird. It seemed like people were acting like they were fighting for a position at my company. I'm like, well, you know, I haven't hired you. Hey, Christian. I'm like, I ain't hired you, boo. What are you doing? What are you doing? I didn't hire you, sweetie. I didn't hire you. No, it's so weird. And it, you know, and it was just bizarre, guys. So, you know, they were acting like Divine Services is like our employer, and I'm like not working for my own self. It's like Divine Services is my company name. Uh, the company that I started, where I am 100% the owner. And what are you doing here? So it was kind of like people had an opinion about things that they really don't know anything about. Okay. So, you know, yeah, not sure about that. No, but you're right, sis. I may want to keep them separate. I may want to. It depends. Okay. It depends. It depends on uh what spirit wants me to do. I think that it definitely keeping them together and cut down on costs. But you know, the sun and the moon is so readily available to us that I have yet to make a sun and a moon bottle, but I am. In fact, the ones that I'm gonna do for the sun are going to feature the beautiful calendula flowers. Okay, which is a herb associated with the sun. Okay, so it will have that in it, and I think those are going to be so pretty. They really are, and I mean, they are so perfect for like meditation and gazing into them. It's really really beautiful, and the alcohol keeps them very fresh. It really does. It keeps them fresh. It does a good job of doing that. So I'm excited about it. I know that I know when the people at the patent company, they're gonna look at that. Did y'all see it? I posted it on the community wall. They're gonna be like, really? We got another one. We got one of those crazy, crazy, spiritual people. Like, oh God, here we go. And they'll be like, what is she talking about? Listen, just give me the patent on my products and you don't worry about that, okay? I don't know if they can turn it down. If they can't, it'll still be, yeah. I just finished meditating my root chakra for 15 minutes. Oh, nice. Root chakra meditation is very important. It really, really is. I'm telling you. What I like about meditation is that you can listen to certain frequencies and meditate while you're doing other stuff, which is nice. So the alchemy bottles, though, getting back to that, they are going to feed you. They are going to feed you. People, so many people are out here feeding off of other people. And there's nothing wrong with taking your power back. If you feel like an enemy stole your power, nothing wrong with that. I'm not talking about that. But you don't ever want to become codependent. I think if more of us was connected to source, it wouldn't be that way. We wouldn't be codependent and yelling and screaming at each other and just like, I just don't have time for that, y'all. I don't. And you know what? The older that you get, once you get the age of 40, You get to the point where you don't want to dwell. You don't want to dwell and you don't want to harp on nothing. I want to move on with my life. I just want to get on with my life. Can I get on with my life? How do I get on with my life? How do I move forward? You know? I went through 15 spirits of the Ars Goetia, and they actually gave me that. And a lot of people would think that they wouldn't, because when people think about the Goetia and when people think about the underworld, they think about some dark basement in hell or something. It's like, oh, you just have no idea, you know? You just have no idea. Okay, I'm getting ready to start this dishwasher up. I'm probably gonna hear it go, nah, nah, my dishwasher's coming out. So, but that's exactly who I got that from. Okay, I think. I'm not sure which one it was, because I was connecting with the goddess Brigid this whole time. I was kind of connecting with her energy. And so it could have been her, but maybe I'll narrow it down. I personally think that it was this one that I'm not mentioning yet. Because, I've been working with some of the lesser mentioned spirits of the Goetia. And it's been working out. It has been. But then again, I'm going to tell you something. Every single spirit that I work with, which people are afraid of them for some reason, it's definitely worked out. It might be because of Lilith, and she loves me a lot because I'm very loyal. She showed me certain things and did a lot for me, but she didn't just grant me a bunch of money. I mean, she did, but it was like I had to wait for it. Okay, it was like, wait for it. Wait for it, okay? But, so I think that within itself, I would suggest, if you're a male or a female, to have that protection from Lilith. Because Lilith is not considered to be she's not a part of the Ars Goetia. She's not. She's something else. Yeah. All right, y'all. I am done with my dishes. I get to be lazy because this last little bowl needs to soak. And I am getting ready to cook dinner, y'all. I'm not going to stay on here while I cook. So I wanted to come and talk to you guys about that, give y'all something to listen to. Yeah, they're not free. I know that a lot of people just want some free entertainment. They're not free, but it's something that's going to increase your money. It's something that's going to protect you. Oh, that's another thing I can tell you. They provide excellent protection as well. They do. They do. They provide excellent protection. Okay. All right. My stuff is going. I get to go upstairs. Oh, guys, I'm having pork burgers again tonight. Yay! I've been keeping it really simple on the dinner. So we're having pork burgers and steak fries and baked beans. Jacob don't eat baked beans. He don't like beans at all. I think it's because he heard that bean song and he thinks they're going to make him fart or something. I told him they were delicious, but he doesn't want them. So, but he'll have a pork burger and some fries. So I'm about to get dinner cooked and just relax for the rest of the night. Okay, I'm gonna come back and start doing more of these little cleaning vlogs and stuff. Okay, so that new herb that I got, I'll put a picture of it on my community wall. It's called epazote. 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 Okay. This is a new herb that I've never had before. But from what I've read about it, I'm already impressed. Okay. Oh, girl, yeah. I haven't had a beef hamburger in weeks. I haven't had one in weeks because I've been using pork instead of beef for my burgers, and I love it. I prefer it actually. Yeah. So I just didn't get any lettuce. I probably should have, but I got cheap. And I said I just want to, like a fresh sliced tomato on there. You know, a little bit of salt. And then we got some grape soda for dinner. So I'm about ready to eat. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. But I think that they're good for everybody, no matter where you're at in your spiritual experience. I do make sure, like when I make the bottles, I make sure that I use pink salt in them to help you with grounding, because you are going to experience some kind of you're going to experience some kind of inner shift. And that can be difficult for some people because it's actually, doing planetary work, believe it or not, is actually considered to be shadow work. It's an area of shadow work. It really is. Okay. And I think somebody was thinking about, well, what about the Lilith? What about the planet Lilith? I don't know why I started thinking about that. Because we have like a dark moon Lilith. And you know what? I don't really understand that. Is that a planet, or is it a galaxy, or is it a place in the solar system? Like, what is it? Sis, I can't have no shrimp. But I can have I think this week I want to have some orange roughy because I haven't had orange roughy in a minute, and I love orange roughy. Oh my god, I love it. It's some of the best fish ever. Um but back to what I was talking about. I'm gonna look that up to see if Lilith is actually a planet. I thought that Lilith was connected to Saturn, though, is what I thought. If you have no retrograde in your chart, then that's good. I haven't found one person yet that didn't have any retrograde. I had one person that got close to it, and that was my one of my daughters, and she only had her North Node in retrograde, and that was it. Everything else was direct. Um, I would say that if you don't have any retrogrades in your chart, to me, that is a good thing because of the way that I look at retrograde. Okay. But I think it would depend on how you're raised. And then also, I think just you wouldn't have to necessarily have a retrograde jar, but I would say that, well, I mean, I would say still get a set of the planets because it's nothing wrong with working with that planetary energy. Orange Ruffy to me is more so orange Ruffy. I guess you could have some Alfredo on the side of it, but when I eat orange Ruffy, I usually have like some mixed vegetables and some. I guess you could have some rice with it, rice or something. Is usually what I make with it, sis. It's so good and flavorful though. Yeah, I love orange Ruffy. So anyway, hit that thumbs up, guys, if you enjoyed this discussion while you are doing whatever. Okay. And I think I want to do some podcasting, and I'm gonna really start doing that and then uploading the podcast up to my channels because I really enjoy listening to podcasts. Yes, sis, you got to try the orange Ruffy. It's good. They say that it's high in mercury levels. but it's so darn good. It really is. So it's probably not something that you want to eat every week, but it's good to have, it's good. What I do is I season it. I actually put fish fry on it. I bread it with fish fry and I put it in the oven. I wouldn't try to fry that fish because it's very tender. And to me, I feel like it would make a good lobster substitute for people like me that can't eat shellfish. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Somebody's summoning me, so I will see y'all later. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Peace and blessings to you guys. If you want to know more about the planetary alchemy bottles, you guys can contact me for a reading. Y'all know how to reach me. Okay. All right, y'all. I will see y'all later. Blessings. Bye.